All right, here we go. Welcome to episode 3 of my RL20ii tribute bike. Last time we left off, I was working on the number plate and my reflector brackets, which I had to cut the reflectors off of, and I was messing around with the hacksaw. And what I ended up doing was I just took the old spinning wheel of death and got those reflectors right off. It's about time for a new blade. This one's getting small and wore down. So, where we're at now, what I did is I got everything lined up the way I want it, and I poked a couple of starter holes in here. And so now I'm going to enlarge those holes and screw that into place. Before I do that though, I wanted to talk a little bit more about some of the stickers. I got the fork stickers. I forgot about putting those on. Those will go down here on fork. And then there's the seat tube sticker. If you look back here, this has got a seat tube sticker on it. I'm not sure if I want that on there or not, so I'm going to mull around on that while I mull around figuring out what kind of recreation I want for the BFD and Duker stickers. So without further ado, I'll move this out of the way, move the frame up so I got room to work here. Just our camera angle so you can see the fork. And then I'm gonna wipe off my hands, wipe off the fork. Remember, this faux chrome finish is it's a chrome vinyl wrap. Inexpensive, shines really up nice, shines up really nice like real chrome. However, it's a pain in the butt to put on. All right. Trying to make sure that's straight. Don't like that. I think that's it. All right. All right. Maybe a little crooked, but that looks pretty good. Now, for this one, I'm just gonna flip this around, but this goes this way because it's the opposite side. You know what? I'm just gonna make sure that I'm doing this right. Yeah. That nice and straight on there. Boom. That's legit. That's fire, as the kids say. Off the chain, off the hook. It's fire. All right. So we got that taken care of now. I just nicked up my chrome. All right, so next thing we're doing, what's the time at? I can't see that. I forgot to set a timer. So Let me set my timer. I'm setting the timer because I'm trying to keep these short. I don't want to ramble on and ramble on. If you want to watch it for an hour, then you wait till I post a few videos and just watch them all in a row. Also, I got lots of other things to do, so I can't just spend all my time doing this. Alright. Now I need a drill bit. Or something to... So, hold on just a second. And I'm back. Alright, got some drill bits. These are the screws. So, I just want a hole that's just a tiny bit bigger than the screw. That's what we got there. And so I'm just going to do this by hand because it's plastic. And these are new drill bits, so they're fairly sharp. However, still getting stuck. See what we can do. All right. Let's see if putting a glove on lets me. There we go. Well, it's just spiraling around a thing. Alright, so what we're going to do then, there we go. Get that spinning around. And then I'm going to take a razor blade and cut off the edges. Alright. Just couldn't hold on to the drill bit because it's sharp. Alright, and then we're going to take and just shave off the burrs with the razor blade. Give it a little chamfer on this side. Alright, now we're cooking with gas. So, yep, these are not in the same place. If you look at this thing, you can see from the picture that I used that the screw heads, that's where they were on the original number plate. But as I said before, that's not what we're doing here, so I'll get that down on there. Are they going to be long enough? I don't know if the screws are long enough to go through this. They are not. So, I need longer screws. Alright, time out. Time out while I find some longer screws. Hey, I'm back. Found some that I think will work. So, we'll start over. And they are different colors. But I don't have a lot of pan head screws. So I had to go through and find what was available in my scrap. Is it gonna bite? It might not bite. Nope. Not. Oh. That bites on that one. Alright, that bites on that one. different diameters. All right, get that in place. There we go. All right. Now, the placement on this thing, I want this to be, come on, there we go, stay there. All right, I want this to be a little bit lower than the top of the bar, just so that I'm not ever catching my foot on it, or if I'm running around town doing a surfer and I got my foot on here, not smashing on the number plate. So, right about there. Looks good. So, tighten that down. Give you the good angle. Maybe. Boom. Oh. Haha. So, all right. And the other thing we're going to end up doing is routing. We're going to be putting cables through here too. So I may be drilling some extra holes in here. We'll see. But there it is. Ta-da. All right, so what we're going to do next then is we're going to actually put the bars on. So let me get the top of the stem and the bolts. And get the correct size Allen wrench, which probably is a 6. It is a 6. All right. Let's readjust the camera. Bum, bum, bum. Look at that. All right, now I can already see that my number plate is interfering with the bolt holes in the front. So we're going to pop the number plate off, and we'll have to put it back on. White goes on the right. One other thing I want to show you. So when I painted the stem, let's get in close here. When I did the stem, I went ahead and I sanded out the anodization on the clamping area so that there's never any risk of slipping. Yeah, these are good knurled. It's got a good deep knurling. But I always sand all that out on all of my bikes just because safety. Just to make sure. Do I need to? Probably not. Does anybody else do it? I don't know. But I do. I guess it probably stems from having cheap stems when I was younger that would slip on you no matter how tight and even you had the bolts in. All right, so get that, and that fits perfectly in there. Make sure we're centered. On the knurling. And then for the angle here, I'll bring you in for this. I always put mine just slightly steeper than parallel with the head tube angle, but not 90 degrees with the ground. I found that that's the best and most comfortable place that I like for control. So I do that on all my bikes. And so that's maybe just touch back. Right there should be just about perfect. So we'll snug these down. And then we'll slap that number plate back on there after we get the other two bolts in. Look at that, we're about 15 minutes already. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get this in, get the number plate on, and then do the seat post and seat, maybe. I don't know. Let's just get this on for now, so I can get back to watching the movie RAD. I literally have it paused right now. I keep it playing in the background sometimes. Another thing to look at is your spacing all around the stem clamp. You want it to be even all the way around so that you know you're evenly clamped. You have even force clamped all the way around. All right. Now later on, if we need to make any adjustments, we'll come back and check the tightness of these. But that should be pretty good. Alright, stick that there. Alright, and then stick that back in there. Tighten that down. Probably need some kind of washer behind it. All right. There you go. What do you think? Is it starting to look? Let me step back and look. It's starting to look pretty cool. I may want to trim that off a little bit on the bottom because that's sticking down pretty far below. But we'll see. We'll make adjustments as we go. All right. So now, seat post clamp. It's over here in this pile somewhere. Ah, here we go. And a little bit of grease from my grease gun down here underneath my workbench. Right. Just a little bit of grease so that it slides onto the frame nice and neat. I don't know that I've test fit this after I painted it because the paint obviously adds some thickness. Let's make sure. Yeah, the clamp bolt is loose. There we go. That slid down on pretty easy after I got past the edge. Let me grab a different rag for the grease. We're going to put some grease down in here for the seat post as well. So, a little bit more grease. I'm grunting as I bend over because I'm getting old. How old, you ask? I'm 52 years old. And I'm in my barn, screwing around, with a replica or tribute 80s freestyle bike. Using automotive grease. So I got this towel here. So just wipe that on the towel. It slides right in. All right. Seat height. We'll adjust that, but in the olden days, we always adjusted our seat height so that we could grab our handlebars and our seat in the same spot for tricks. So I'm gonna have it just a little bit lower than that, and then we'll adjust that for comfort later after we get everything back together. Do final checks before we ride it. There's that. There's a green grease ring in there. And there she is. Yeah, I should tighten down the seat, but there we go. I like it. What do you think? Let's take a look at this thing. All right. I'm really wearing the wrong glasses to look at this little LED screen. But there it is. I don't know. What do you think? Does it look? Is it starting to look like that? It's kind of starting to look like that. I am very pleased with it. Alright, messing around with the camera. Stick it back up on the stand here. Alright, that's it for today's episode, episode 3. Thanks for watching. Next time we're going to start with brake setup. We're going to do the brakes before we get the wheels and tires on. While it's on here and easy to work with, you don't have the wheels in the way messing around, because I got a experimental setup. But again, thanks for watching. Look at the camera, dummy. And we'll see you next time.